three generations under one roof chicken soup, one of the classic dishes of Taiwanese cuisine. Soup in Western cultures typically is like a minestrone, or there's lots of different chopped up elements in there. But in Asian culture, the broth is the king. So I gotta figure out what's gonna work best. Jiababui. Welcome to Taiwan. Hi everyone, it's Jason Wang and welcome to Jason's Table. Today I've made my way to the northeast part of Taiwan to the township of Yilan. Yilan is known for being the originator of many important ingredients and dishes known in Taiwanese cuisine. So I've made my way to a restaurant to look for a chef who is national treasure level, who has competed in many foreign competitions and represented Taiwan. The name of the restaurant? Du Xiaoyue. What does that mean? Well, Xiaoyue in business refers to the season of business where there isn't much going on. And Du means to kind of muddle your way through. So originally, this restaurant was meant to serve cheap and inexpensive, delicious food that would help you get through the lean months. Nowadays, Du Xiaoyue is known. There are restaurants all over Taiwan using this name, but this is the original, and I think Chef is waiting for us inside, so let's go find him. I'm incredibly honored today to make the acquaintance of Chef Ling Shi, who is a national treasure level chef. Ling Shi,
你好，
很高兴可以见到你。So I know that with Yilan and having these special ingredients like the green onions and also the duck, since we are in the restaurant Du Xiaoyue, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the restaurant and its name and the meaning and your family's involvement in the restaurant?
杜小野是由我爸爸，爸爸以前是在外汇厨师啊，他是一个宜兰很有名的大厨师。那杜小野的缘由是这样子的，因为早期开的这个店啊，宜兰好像没有那个有名的师傅在开小吃，所以老爸一路走来走得很顺。那我在他旁边也学了蛮多了，甚至于在我们以前在做福利社看到他的那个一些小吃啊，都学了很多。 所以我是从13岁就跟着他一直到现在。
Oh, wow.
是。
And Chef, you've been all over the world now. So on the global stage, in the national stage, and now back to Yilan. So if you were to recommend a local dish or a specialty or a master dish to folks coming to visit Taiwan, which dish would it be and why?
大家除了佛跳墙，吃三代同堂也是不错的一道菜。
So 三代同堂鸡汤。
对。
So 3 generations under the same house chicken soup.
因为这个同堂的意义就是说，大家一起来吃这一道菜，所以过年大家除了佛跳墙，吃三代同堂也是不错的一道菜。
I'm definitely looking forward to the chef showing for us how to make this classic dish, 3 generations under the same house chicken soup. Chef, can we ask you to proceed to the kitchen? Let's see how this is done.
那没问题。
好，谢谢，
感谢你，
谢谢。Chef Chen has 40 years of cooking experience in his restaurant and is considered one of the top choices for presidential events. And as the leader of the delegation from Taiwan, has had wonderful success in Singapore's FHA International Culinary Competition, taking home the gold medal with the Taiwanese team. From dishes created in the soils of Yilan to worldwide competition, his cuisine must be excellent. I cannot wait to try it.
首先要把鸡头取起来哈，好了以后我们抓它的那个中骨哈，还有去脚啊，把它拿起来。
What's really interesting for me is to see the chicken getting prepared for the soup. So the head comes off, the middle is split open, And actually the whole chicken is butterflied open, which is really unusual for soup.
再来哈，要处理萝卜哈。
It's really exciting to see the daikon radish getting presented in 3 different forms. So first, you have the fresh one. Secondly, you have the one that's dried, 萝卜钱. And the third, the probably most important one, is the 菜脯, which is the really aged, well-fermented daikon radish that's almost like black gold.
还有干贝，因为我们要取它干贝里面的那个汤汁哦，所以要加一点干贝，这样就 OK 了。 从大骨汤把它舀起来。
It's amazing to know that the broth not only has the chicken in there, but also has pork rib bones in there to really give a beautiful broth base that's going to be further enhanced and further concentrated by all the other elements that chef is adding to the soup.
盐巴不能太多，因为里面有老菜脯，还有那个萝卜干哈，所以盐巴不要太多。加点米酒。 这样可以封起来，就是可以下去炖了。
What's unique about this dish is the steaming process. So chef seals the top with saran wrap. And unlike normal steaming where things can exchange in between the liquid, this one seals in all the flavors of the ingredients that are in the pot. So the daikon, the dates, the scallops, the chicken, all that flavor is just getting recycled and permeated and percolating in there. So when the soup comes out, it's a pure flavor. We're so fortunate today to taste a classic dish of Taiwanese cuisine and to meet with its creator and originator, the chef. And this dish, the 3 generations soup, chicken soup with different kinds of daikon in it, is truly amazing. So let's try this dish. How about that? Okay. 好，谢谢，谢谢。Wow. 哦，
这个黑黑的这个是老萝卜。 我们加一个鸡块，那它已经炖了2、3小时，它色泽会变。
It's a really, really rich aroma. 香气，
味道
yeah,
很呛。
yeah. I think for me, there's just so many layers of flavors. The flavor of this soup, even though it's a broth, clear broth, the flavor is so rich and so many different layers in it.
如果你不加味精的话，你干贝可以多一点，因为干贝它本身的甜度也够，盐巴也够。
Well, I think because you have the scallops in there, you have the dates in there, and you have the 3 kinds of daikon, the layering of all those flavors in the cook time really brings out all the umami elements in the dish. I think definitely when you use great ingredients, the flavors really come out. It's a wonderful product. Let's try the daikon.
我喜欢吃萝卜，萝卜的味道是很密集、很融合的。
The flavor of the daikon, it melts in your mouth, but it has all the essence of the chicken and all the scallops and the other daikon in there, but it's very gentle and very soothing. I think it's very comforting. Let's talk about this for just a minute. I know that this ingredient, 菜脯, is like very, very, very expensive in Taiwanese cuisine. And I think there's one right behind us, this container. Yeah.
整欧都是了，这个价格不敢说啊，为什么？它有分年份，一年的话，假设那个老萝卜6年了，它可能1000、2000、3000一直往上叠上去。那放了多久不知道，因为老祖先留下来，我们就把它。
Oh, sure.
对。我们请它口味很好。
Because what's interesting to me is it looks black, you don't really know what it is, but it's actually the daikon radish. And for people to know that that ingredient there is so expensive, the older it gets, the more value it gets. It's a luxury, almost looks like a black truffle, but it's maybe the black truffle of Taiwanese cuisine. Okay, let's try this.
还是有它本身的味道在。
So there's a little bit of a fermented flavor, a little bit of acidity, but it's a very complex, almost like wine notes on there. Wow, that's a really interesting flavor. So we're gonna try, this is the daikon radish that was dried and then reconstituted in the soup. So not fermented, but just dried.
这个炖了以后，它有太阳，知道吗？日晒的那个味道在。
So after being dried in the sun, it has the flavor of the sunshine in there, and I think it's like a beautiful sponge. I think the next thing for me to do is just thank the chef for giving me this experience of trying this classic Taiwanese dish. 3 generations under the same house chicken soup really encapsulates the essence of his spirit, this restaurant, and Yilan in a bowl. Chef, I'm wondering, would you come to my kitchen and try something of mine?
有空一定到。
Okay.
对。
Thank you so much.
谢谢
And we'll see you in the kitchen again.
谢谢你。
For me, the essence of this dish really is the daikon and using its 3 different forms to layer flavors in addition with the chicken as kind of the body and base to hold it all together. So I think it's gonna be an interesting combination. I gotta figure out what's gonna work best. After having Chef Chen's delicious 3 generations under one roof chicken soup, so what am I gonna make? I decided I'm gonna make a mussel soup with lemon. I'm gonna put in some oysters, just a couple. This has a really intense flavor, so I've got some water, putting in the oysters in there. And I love a little extra flavor, so to give a flavor boost, we're in the ocean, put a little kombu, and I'm gonna put a little garlic as well. As with any seafood, you gotta put a little ginger, it's a very Asian thing. A little bit of peppercorn for some extra flavor boost. Peppercorns in the water. And my special guests in my kitchen today, 3 generations of citrus. So we have fresh lemon and dried lemon. And this is a salted pickled lime. So 3 generations, fresh, dried, and also pickled. So we're just gonna use a little bit of these. Too much is gonna overpower the soup, but just a little bit of the aromatic rind. Put this in, let it simmer, and we're gonna work on some of the other ingredients. My broth is simmering, so I'm gonna work on some of the garnishes for this yummy mussel soup. And I have some beautiful scallions here. They're gonna add a lot of flavor and some color to the soup, so I'm gonna trim them up and shred them up now, so. The next unusual garnish that I'm putting in this soup is water spinach. So I'm gonna use this little gadget as well. And why am I using this particular vegetable? Well, in Vietnamese cuisine, there is a mussel soup that is also using water spinach. So I'm gonna pull on that tradition as well. Put it in some ice water. Shred this, it curls up, it gets nice and crunchy. And when we pour the hot soup over it, it's gonna be super delicious, crunchy element, green, fresh, vibrant. And I think soup broth obviously needs to taste good, but I like having a little bit of texture in there. So I'm gonna put this in and let this chill in the ice water. And let's get back to our broth and see what's going on. So we've got the nice base flavors, but we need to add on to it. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of wakame. So seaweed, wakame, so put that in. And then I'm going to put in our mussels. So mussels will have a lot of juice and liquor in them, and that's gonna flavor the soup. And mussels, once they open, they're ready to come out. I don't want them to overcook, so I'm gonna start pulling them out. We've got these beautifully juicy flavors from the ocean, and the important thing is do not let your seafood overcook, so we gotta get these guys out. And now that we've had all that mussel liquor in there, the broth is delicious. It's very oceanic. salty but flavorful, and we're gonna add a couple more things to finish it off. So one of our 3-generation items, we have a little bit of fish sauce. Don't want to put too much, but just the right amount is gonna give that complexity in the flavor. And lots of scallion. And once that scallion hits the broth, you get that lovely aroma. I think when you're trying to come up with new dishes, there's always a lengthy research process and also ideally a testing process. Branch out into all the ingredients that I know, do some research into some ingredients I don't know, and really just try to start mapping out how these things will go together. And I think it's gonna make the soup taste much better. It's time for supper! Hello, 大家好! Hello, 师傅, 你好, 你好, 来. Hi, Julie, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Hi, Tom,
Jason,
how are
lovely
you?
to meet you.
Good to
Very
see you
well.
again. So, folks, we're in for a treat because Chef Chen brought his signature chicken soup. So why don't you have a seat? I'll bring it out and we can all have a taste first. Okay, so here's my workout for the day. Amazing. This is so heavy. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Goodness.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing. There's the fresh daikon in there, and then there's dried daikon. And you can see he's actually taken the chicken. It's been butterflied open, and it's just the presentation is really lovely. And of course, you have all the collagen good bits in there with the chicken feet.
And how long does it take to make the soup?
差不多3小时。
So 3 hours. So this is super delicious. It's a treat. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's hot too. Watch out.
清清淡淡。
I can taste the radish and
Yeah.
the chicken soup.
And I think for me, I love using radish is in soup. It's kind of an interesting ingredient. It gets very sweet as it gets cooked.
And it's a good combination.
And Chef, I'm just wondering, what made you come up with this particular dish? Was it one of the ingredients inside, or you ate this somewhere else?
这是一个机缘呐哈，因为有时候那个做菜有时候会来自灵感新鲜。
对，
对，好像从天上飘下来。那有一天我们在吃一吃，哎，以前的老萝卜怎么把它制作放那么久？
Yeah.
怎么再把它拿出来做什么菜？那我们就认为说，现在有萝卜啊，还有菜包是1年晒好的啊，
Yeah.
还有老萝卜啊，3样把它炖了以后出来，哇，那味道真的是太好。
Delicious.
是这样子。
So what do we do next?
所以说加一点酒，
We cheers?
不是喝哦，放这里面，
Oh, we're putting this in the soup.
Just a little
你再
bit.
喝喝看，
And now he said, let's try it. So.
Okay.
让它融化一下。
Good luck.
This is whiskey, right? I can smell it.
Oh,
更跳，
That
更甜。
changes the flavor
that's
completely.
delicious.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. I should put more.
The chef thinks a lot about how to use one ingredient, but using different techniques, you kind of get different flavors from it. Yeah.
Because they normally expect Chinese rice wine in a soup
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
this kind of cooking. but
Yeah, the whiskey actually really matches the chicken soup.
The chicken soup today was incredible. When you added the whiskey, the flavor changed completely. It just added that little bit of extra sweetness that was completely delightful.
So try some of the chicken, and I made a little dish inspired by this. I'm gonna just finish it up in the kitchen, and we can try some of that too, okay? Please, 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 enjoy. I'll be right back.
Sounds like we're in for a treat.
So let's get this dish plated. Put a little bit of this, and we have our spring onion from before. That's gonna be nice spring onion on there. And we have just a little bit of fresh lemon peel for some brightness. That hot broth just hits all those aromatics. You get all that flavor coming up. Beautiful, simple broth, but based on the idea taken from Chef Chen's dish, 3 generations in the same household, all those things stewed together. We have the citrus and we have the mussels, different types building flavors and layers of delightfulness. So here we go. Here is our mussel soup with lemon. 假爸爸, bon appetit. All right, here we go.
Wow.
Here's our next course.
That looks spectacular.
This is mussel soup with lemon. So here we go. There should be a little bit of
Oh, that fragrance is hitting me now.
Yeah, I can smell it.
a little bit of lemon. There's water spinach, 空心菜.
Okay.
And then there's some lemon and there's some onion, spring onions.
This is reminding me a little bit of those
Wow.
Belgian-style mussel pots. we
Oh,
get
yeah.
sometimes.
And so this dish is inspired by Chef Chen's dish because of the use of 3 different stages of the same ingredient.
It's very oriented taste.
Yeah, oceanic kind of,
Yeah.
So anyway, this is kind of like a nice palate cleanser after chef soup. Mine, the flavor's a little bit more
Yes,
simple,
more.
but it's like a very clean,
I'm just
Very
imagining.
fresh.
Very, very fresh. I'm just imagining I've come off my boat, I'm on the dock,
Oh.
looking for something
I'm
summery.
gonna try some soup.
Oh yes, please, yeah.
Really love what you did with the water spinach
I
because
also
it doesn't.
taste seaweed.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
seaweed.
Inside?
Yeah.
I was really surprised and impressed to see Jason use the 3 different ingredients in the same way as Chef Chen. I think that people can really relate to those 3 different stages of lemon, and that zest that came through when you were drinking the mussel soup was just so summery and light.
It tastes very fresh and delicious, and I feel young.
这个我喝到了它的很多的层次不一样的味道，对不对？除了柠檬以外，它有葱啊，它的味道又不一样。加了以后，那个喝了以后，那感觉很多层次的感
Yeah.
觉，对。
Yeah. I mean, it's not as good as yours, but it's an attempt to kind of capture some of the styles and the technique in there. And I think that's really important with, master dishes that are really complex. It's sometimes hard to understand what actually goes into making that dish.
它的那个3个柠檬的不一样的元素出来的味道是不一样的。淡菜的本身的那个甜度加进去，它的那个好像碰撞出来的也是不一样的感觉。我真的很满意，没话说，做的很满意。
I feel just so fortunate to have this opportunity to create some food for Chef Chen to eat. I mean, his restaurant, the food, we tried it and it was just absolutely just amazing. And he has a very fresh, forward thinking, creative process to his food. And I think just using that spirit and moving forward and trying something new and unexpected, that's really just been wonderful. And I think the biggest compliment you can pay to someone is to learn from that. And I hope that Chef Chen knows that I really do appreciate all the ideas and the inspiration that he's shown to me. And I think for me, mussels, growing up in New England, I used to collect them from the seashore, so it kind of reminds me of home. And I know in Chef's dish is this kind of idea of 3 generations all together.
And that interplay between the Western and the Eastern elements just comes straight through here.
Yeah, and then very, very good taste, and I like it.
I think the magic of learning from other chefs is you really get to understand some of the complexities and unique elements that make dishes in their repertoire so special. For me, the inspiration from Chef Chen's 3 Generations chicken soup really has created this inspiration for using an ingredient in 3 different ways, like the seafood and also the lemon. I think the more you eat, the more you learn. This is Jason at Jason's Table, Masterful Dishes. Pleasure to share this with you. I hope you'll try some delicious food too. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.